Yeah, it's one of those things that a little bit strange, but let's just get the racing going. I think it's going to be pretty much a two-horse race between Luc Clout and Anthony Bourdon. They were the fastest guys. There's the Motul 15-second board. And this first race of the evening, the races get a little bit longer. 5 minutes plus a lap this first race. Gate goes, Clout on the number 4 250, but it's Bourmet who leads the way on the 172 over the Milwaukee hole shot. Bourmet leading the way. Clout there in second on that Kawasaki in orange. Third. Alongside him, I think just moving into third, is the 744 of Saad Suleimani on the TM. And then we got Bourdon trying to nip up the inside into that third place and spooks him. Oh, Clout very close as he came into land there, but Bourdon does move into that third place. Great move.
Yeah, it was, and Clout did a fantastic job of sneaking up the inside as he tries to make another move on Bourmet there. He did not have the jump, but he's a wily veteran. He knew if he just stuck to the inside, he'd be okay. Ooh, Bourmet comes up way short.
Oh, how did Clout miss Bourmet there? One side of the track to the other. Bourmet goes from the lead. Clout takes over. And onto that step on, step off. This is the section we were talking about. If you can quad into there, but they are jumping long into the berm, the 450 guys.
Yeah, a lot of mistakes. You just wonder if it's, you know, the jumps are all have been reshaped. Is there just some inconsistency there? Because that's been multiple big mistakes by Luc Clout, who's usually fairly mistake-free, and then Bourmet, who's already had a big crash today, but I think just some of the newness of the track catches him out.
Whoops are absolutely monstrous. Look at Jake Cannon on the Kawasaki getting past there with the yellow helmet on the Bud Racing Kawasaki. Fell there in the time practice session earlier. His hand came off the bar and he went down. But his teammate this weekend, who's been riding in Australia as well, and then obviously riding here, who's that's gone down, the 27 of Hugo Manzato on the Husqvarna, the Frenchman. That's the sand we were talking about, unpredictable. A thin layer of sand on top of a clay base.
Especially the line really hasn't been worked in yet, so that the front tire is going to be pushing all the way through that section.
Well, this was a battle that we said would be tight between Clout and Bourdon. Clout got the better start. Bourdon had to fight through a couple of riders. He's got himself into second. And the Honda rider looking ready to pounce on the Australian, who, when I spoke to him today, he was glad to be back on a 250. It's been a couple of years, 2 or 3 years or so, that he was last on a 250. And on the media day on Friday, you could see that he'd been a little bit rusty in terms of that 250 action, because he was wanting the power to come out to get him drive over the whoops. Wasn't happening, so he's really having to ride his way back into a little bit of memory muscle on this machine to get familiarity.
Yeah, and some of his line choices, you can tell that he's thinking like a 450 rider. He's kind of cutting a lot of the corners short, drawing really tight apexes, and that's leaving him short on some of the bigger jumps.
See how quickly the track is drying out as well, just starting to slick up as they came in at the end of the landing there. Over the finish line triple into this right-hander. Who is quickest through the whoops? Bourdon in second, or Clout? Clout has the advantage that time around, able to hop out over the last three. Nothing in it between them though. Doesn't matter about the lap times. These two are locked together, a bike length apart. There's that triple. And would you say that's a quad or a triple at the end there?
I would say quad. That's a highly debated topic. You're walking into dangerous waters there with that question, but I would say quad.
Anyway, onto this rhythm again. Is there going to be a move? Not quite. Close enough. And Clout was middle of the line there, middle of the track. So it went nice and defensive, but not so much that he was going to be compromised on the exit. Good responses, actually. What have we got left? Minute and a half plus a lap. Oh, almost folded the front in that right-hander.
Yeah, and for Bourdon here, he needs to be thinking about where can he make a pass. We talked about this section that they're entering right now. That could possibly be one, but first things first, he needs to close the gap.
The French-based Moroccan Saad Suleimani on the TM here, 744. He is ahead of Calvin Fonvier, the red plate holder, the championship leader in SX2. Remember, he's got a 1-point lead over Michael Hicks, who's not here this weekend, but that doesn't matter. Fonvier's still got to go out and score points, because we don't know how the average point score from Hicks will kind of come into play after the final round a week from now. So he's got to go out and execute no matter what. Bourdon gaining momentum again, Jason.
Yeah, closing it down. He has to get to his rear wheel if he hopes to make a pass here. I'm still not exactly sure where the move will come from, if he's able to pull it off.
I think rhythm going into turn 2 on the opposite side of the arena. into that left.
If he could get close enough to him entering the whoops and just go up the inside and meet him at the apex of that corner, that's another spot. But it seems like it's going to have to be a little bit aggressive.
End of this next straight if he's close enough. There we go. He's perfectly on off. He's got good drive through here. He's going to jump long to the inside. And there is the move up the inside.
Great call.
You could see it was coming. That was really the first major place that it was going to go down. Clout now, though, looking to go around the outside. Tries to respond immediately, can't find a way back through at the moment, but then he responds with a similar move, but doesn't get the momentum through the whoops. Is that all she wrote? Did the one-lap board go out there, or was there time still on the clock as they hit, as we were watching that move into that final turn? But Bourdon lost out on the Prince of Paris, tied on points with Tom Vial a year ago. He's shown his hand here so far in this first race.
Yeah, that was perfectly executed. Clout's not tripling onto that tabletop, and you don't think it loses much time. It's just enough to allow Bourdon to get to the inside.
So a couple of corners to go then. I imagine the flag is about to go out. The checkers goes out for Bourdon, who wins race 1. Clout second, 1.3 behind. Still a good effort from the Aussie. Back on a 250, not easy after riding the last 2 or 3 years on a 450. But this one's going to be fun and games for the next 5 races over the course of the weekend, JT.
Yeah, they seem like the class of the field, but if we get more racing like that the rest of the weekend, I think everybody will have the money.